Whether it was his epic ring entrances, his sensational fighting style, or his fast tongue, Prince Naseem gave us a million reasons to consider him as the boxing showman of his era. Here's a list of funny Prince Naseem moments that fans did not expect. But before we get into it, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. Naseem vs. Kevin Kelly. After his fight against Kevin Kelly, Prince Naseem gave a post-fight speech that showed he had the charisma to match Muhammad Ali. He lists his set of skills, says he knows the world saw them, then reacts to himself as if even he can't handle his own swagger. Naseem was good for a few laughs, but does he fight as well as he talks? Naseem vs. Johnson. The esteemed Naseem responded to a reporter before the fight, "Do I look nervous?" Our answer is no, he didn't, and his performance only went on to solidify Naseem's smooth killer persona. Naseem pounced over Johnson in dominant fashion before earning his win by way of TKO. But how Naseem did it is what made the audience laugh. Naseem's in-ring trickery and smooth skill would even make the most serious of boxing fans break off a smile. Naseem vs. Castro. The Prince was known for his low-handed style, exactly like he demonstrates in this fight. Keeping his hands low, dancing and moving, he still manages to throw wild combos and powerful punches. But sometimes he seems like he's inviting his opponents to land a punch, yet they rarely do, as Armando Castro learned the hard way. Naseem vs. Cruz. And Naseem isn't afraid to punish those opponents who test his funny talk. After Freddie Cruz called Prince Naseem a child, the Prince soon made him pay by knocking out Cruz for the first time in his career. As Prince Naseem says in his post-fight interview, he showed Cruz he was a man, and now Cruz can go home knowing the Prince was soon to be king. Naseem vs. Alicia. If you haven't noticed, the Prince never shied away from celebration, whether it be before, during, or after a fight. But what was shocking here is that Naseem actually hit the canvas himself. When you watch this one, it really goes to show that behind all that showmanship, Naseem had a fighter's heart. He gets up from a knockdown like nothing happens, wins by KO, and ends it all with a flip. It's not how we fall, but how we get back up. Wait, didn't Rocky say that? Not the Prince? The entrances. Prince Naseem's outrageous entrances could have featured on their own YouTube channel. Since there are too many to count, we'll group this category together. Each and every entrance Naseem had was shocking, fun, or downright wicked, as the Prince liked to put it. There's always some dancing, pyrotechnics, and more. Naseem entered via a magic carpet high above the arena in a king's throne, rose from a graveyard, showed up in stunner shades, and once came through in a pimped-out ride. Regardless of the entrance, Leopard was always a guarantee, and with a Naseem fight as the headliner, it was always a given that the main event starts before the bell rings. Naseem vs. Sanchez. With all his trash talking and charm, Naseem further surprises us with his compassion. If you watch this Larry Merchant interview with Prince Naseem after his knockout win over Augie Sanchez, you'll notice Naseem starts with his usual boasting, then stops himself to send wishes to his opponent's health and safety. Then he talks about his sore throat, punching power, and his striking looks. Mind you, he had 2 black eyes. I guess the Prince is truly one of a kind. Loss to Barrera. Naseem's loss to Barrera was a shock to us all, but what shocked us more was how well Prince Naseem handled it, like a boss. Per his usual post-fight routine, Naseem talks about his faith and projects the effect his faith has on his content, in life, and in boxing. Naseem then intelligently and honorably admits defeat, accepts the loss, and claims he was happy at the end of the fight, the way a true king would. Like he says, we win some, we lose some. That's the way it goes. His retirement. I don't think anyone expected Prince Naseem to retire without avenging his loss, but he did, and Naseem kept a low profile thereafter. The Prince was only 28 when he left the ring, and some consider this a little early, but if you look at the mark he left on boxing, there's no denying this Prince Naseem was a special fighter. Some can talk, some can dance, some can dip, dodge, and perform, some pack a punch. But it is once in a generation that a fighter can do all. With the power of Tyson and the mouth, belief, and moves of Ali, no one in the history of the featherweight division, let alone boxing, had a style like Prince Naseem.